Hello, our dear viewers. Thank you for watching and thank you for joining us today. So, today we are excited and we are thrilled to embark on a very interesting journey as we visit one of our nominees in the category Fish Farmer of the Year, which is, as you can see from the billboard, Mukasa Fish Farm. I'm excited as I join Mr. Lloyd Mukonda, who will take me along this very interesting journey. Please join us.
Welcome to Mukasa Fish Farm. So Mukasa Fish Farm is an aquaculture enterprise which was established in 2017, and we've been in existence for 7 years now. So we technically came to set up our establishment in this area because we saw to it that there was a need to have a central establishment that was going to have a central distribution of most of the aquaculture products that were needed, and also other services. So we are here, and we mostly focus on the establishment, the construction of ponds, dams, and water reservoirs. And also the main business we are here for is we breed fish and grow table-sized fish. So we are also an international training center. We do a lot of capacity building programs, and also a technology dissemination center and demonstration center. Okay, so what we have done is, being the center of technology transformation, demonstration, and also dissemination to the general public, we have come up with sustainable technologies that enable us to operate this system sustainably, and also to generate income that will sustain our workforce and also the people that normally benefit on this system. So one of the interventions we've put in place is to venture into cage culture. Yeah, cage culture is one of the sustainable means of growing fish. Because when you look at we do a comparative study, we look at the ponds, the tanks, and the cages, you find that the ponds, there is a stocking density which is very low, about 5 to 8. But when you go to the cages, we are talking of about averagely 100 pieces per cubic meter, and with the least being 50. So we go up to 120 somewhere with a stocking density per cubic meter. So that gives us an advantage to have a huge yield within a small cubic meter space. So that gives us more capacity to produce more and actually get more revenue. And also one of the other interventions we have come up with is to introduce catfish breeding. Catfish breeding has been non-existent in Zambia, and we started working on this innovative idea of breeding catfish in 2019, and we've been doing a lot of research until this time now we are a very well-established catfish breeder. And this was also in line with the studies that we have been doing to do with the climate change, because you see tilapia, the breams, they are very sensitive to climate. Now we had to look at after 2020 and 2019, we had a lot of occurrences in our the farmers that we were dealing with. They had challenges to manage tilapia. So we looked at what is the most resilient species that can be utilized to grow it by these farmers, so that they don't have these stressful moments again. So we had to bring in catfish, and we started developing a stock until we managed to adopt it, and then we have been able to breed successfully and roll it out, because majority of our farmers across the country, they are poor, they have low income base. So we find that they don't have much money to buy feed. But when you look at the catfish, it's cheaper. It's easier to be kept by an average farmer. So that is also another way we have tried to incorporate that. And then we also tried to bring on board simple technologies on breeding tilapia, because when you look at our facility, we don't have sophisticated designs. We just have local material that we have utilized to make the systems work for breeding and the catfish. So it works perfectly well, actually better than the modern systems, and we are able to breed massively. Actually, we are if you go on media, you find that Mukasa is mentioned everywhere, and you find that we cover a lot of farmers. Now, why do we do that? And as we cover a lot of farmers, again, we have a lot of pressure because farmers always want to get in touch with us. We want to get the products from us. But at the end of the day, we have ended up having too much pressure to meet those farmers, and we are working around the clock to make sure that we meet their demand. So the simple technologies that we have innovated has helped us to produce massively that is able to meet the demand of most farmers across the country. You see, this place is an international demonstration center. So, you know, the efforts we have put in aquaculture here has been noticed by FAO, has been noticed by Wild Fish, and also SANISA, and many other international bodies that do focus on aquaculture. So you find that Wild Fish, that is the HQ in Egypt, and then they gave us an opportunity together in collaboration with the Zambian government to undergo some training in Egypt. So during that event, we ended up demonstrating that what we are doing here is good, and it attracted those guys there to come and monitor what we are doing here. So when they came to check on what we are doing here, they said, okay, what you are doing is marvelous. You are doing the right thing. Then you need to be the demonstration center. So whatever technologies has been developed out there, and they pass on to us. Whatever technologies of catfish are developed in, you know, catfish, the giants of catfish in the world is Nigeria. So they always pass on to us. So at the end of the day, again, when we look at the FAO side, whenever there's anything they bring to us, because we are working in collaboration with them, we are always in touch with them, and NISA, they are always doing a lot of sharing of different materials that they are developing, and also other researchers across the world. We are in contact with a lot of them that always try to give us most of the technologies they are developing there to try them and see how best they can help the farming community. And also locally here, we work with a lot of other feed companies. For example, like Novatec, we started working with Novatec in 2019 to develop the catfish feed. Until this year, in March, we produced our first product for catfish because farmers were using tilapia feed to feed their catfish. Now we have the specifically feed made for catfish. So those are some of the efforts that we've been doing to make sure that we are updated with the technologies that happen around the world.
So when it comes to environmental stewardship, how do you minimize the environmental impact of your fish farming activities?
Okay, you see here, this place, before we have gone into the setup of every system we have here, we had to engage ZEMA, and we were given specifications on what we need to do and how to monitor those protocols. So when you look at this establishment, we have 2 units where we do the disposal of wastewater. And that wastewater, every time this season, before we can open the season in full throttle, we do treat it. We do clear the water there, clean it, treat it, put lime there, and then make sure that it works for another season. And also on the water, again, with the establishment on the water, we make sure during winter, when we are not doing any much of the activities, we repair most of the weak structures. We bring them outside, we check on them, repair them so that they don't fall in the water there. The nets don't fall in the water there, they can entangle the fish, and that can be a hazard on the fish there. So even on the other side of the farm, we have some serious biosecurity system where we don't just allow anybody to move product A to center B. We have protocols that guide on the movement of every organism that we are keeping here, so that there is no contamination, there is no effect that is given to the fish. We don't stress the fish, actually, so to say.
So when it comes to your business performance, can you demonstrate consistent growth in your fish business, fish farming business in terms of production, sales, or market expansion over the past year or over the past 5 years?
Actually, we've been growing at a very fast rate. We've been growing. Sometimes we grow very fast when we have not prepared the human resource to handle the growth. Yeah? So I can say we have been the growth has been extremely perfect, and we have reached a stage where we have actually we can't actually believe that this is what we have done within a short period of time. So the growth as if I can describe the growth that we've recorded is extremely huge. We've done our best and we still need to do more, but we've taken advantage of social media. We do a lot of adverts on social media, and we do utilize radio stations, the television. We do utilize this, and also sometimes we do random marketing kind of strategy where we just carry our fish and we just go and give people we meet in town. We just say, okay, this is fish for this place. We can try it. If you like it, let us know. This is our card. You contact us. So we do much of that kind of arrangement, and we do attend a lot of seminars and conferences there where we are given platforms to market our products. So it's something that is good. And just last month we had the SADC member states meeting in Lusaka. So we are the representative of the Zambian farmers on the SADC committee. So we are given a platform to speak on Mukasa and also on the side of the farmers. So that also is an added advantage to market our products and everything. So we take advantage of every opportunity that comes in to share what we sell and what we do. There are a lot of activities that we do in the community. One of the activities that we've done is to incorporate the community into some kind of capacity building programs. We bring them on board, we train them on cage farming, and we provide necessary materials to make sure they learn how to grow fish, because they are surrounded, they are staying along this water body. And if they get to understand how fish is grown, then they can tomorrow or the other day they can put some small structure in the water there and start growing the fish. So we have run that kind of activity for 2 years, and we closed it. We closed the project end of last year. So we have seen it had a lot of change. Whatever we invested in that project, the farmers invested, and they did a lot of other programs within the village, and it helped them. So we couldn't just continue because it required more funding. Okay, so you see, we have a code room that we have set up, and we are just in the final stages with the ESCO to finish the connection of power. So it will be running. Our plan is to start processing fish. We want to start filleting the fish and other processing mechanisms. So we are depending on the community, the women from the community to give us labor that we need to do the processing. So the community will benefit in that way. And the schools around, we empower them a lot. The school here, the mission, we have done the ponds for them. And the primary, we have been giving them fertilizer, seeds to do their school food. Sometimes during the COVID period, we used to donate hand sanitizers, masks, and stuff to the school. So we always try to work on that. And also on the road, we had to contribute to make sure that previously, before the government graded the road, it was very bad. So there were points where we could not pass. So we used to engage private people to work on the road to make sure it becomes passable, because if it's not passable, people cannot access the school, people cannot access our place here, then it becomes difficult. So we always work in those lines. And our mission, the hospital, we normally have a lot of students. So sometimes they come here for some trainings. They come to have the outdoor trainings here. We give them free access, and also some students, they come here for field experience, and also for their projects and the like. So we are actually a center which is benefiting a lot of those surrounding community. See, that's an interesting thing. I developed interest in that area in 2019. I've had from way back when I was working for some other private firms, the firm I was working for actually had a well-established aquatic animal health department. So I found no one specialized in that, but I had some background experience in the laboratory work, and also with some of the bit of understanding I did in school, because when I was doing my BSc in aquaculture, there was some courses that were looking at aquatic animal health. So I started utilizing those equipments to understand how they can be used, and I got interested. So when I was managing my own setup here in 2019, the same demonstration on whatever I was doing here attracted attention with FAO. So they sent me for training to do the aquatic animal health training. From there, I developed more interest and enrolled at the University of Zambia to do a master's in fish pathology. So that gave me a chance to experiment more on the animal health, aquatic animal health. So this place actually, I've been doing all the setups here to do with the aquatic animal health, and most of the researches are done here, the experiments are done here to make sure that we set up the whole procedure, the protocol, to make sure we combat this kind of situation. So my study actually focused on developing the tool that can be used by every farmer across the country to identify, treat the diseases on the farms. And we have been working with the Norwegian University of Life Sciences and the University of Zambia. So they do come here. Like last November, the University of Norway brought their students who are doing their master's programs here. So we sat here for almost some good time. We are doing a lot of setups of the protocols and the tests and the like. So I do everything here to do with the test treatment, make sure that we avoid certain practices that are endangering the health of the fish. We avoid certain practices that are stressing the fish, and then when we have any simple occurrences, I have 24/7 access to the University of Zambia laboratory. I take them there, and I have a mini laboratory here. I do some simple things that can be done here. Then some of the things to do with histopathology and the other things, I take them to the University of Zambia to do the tests, so that we just make sure the product we are doing here is safe.
So when it comes to sustainability, how do you plan to ensure the long-term sustainability of your fish farming operation?
Okay, so the issues of sustainability, mostly we just look at capacity building. We develop staff to make sure that they can have the wide understanding of the scope of this investment, and we make sure that they can do a lot of other activities that would be key activities to grow this place. And we set strategies for a longer period of time. The planning. We sit with them, plan what we have to achieve during this time and the other time. So we have a plan that guides us, and we have the standard operating procedure that guides us on every stage that we go. So we don't normally struggle. This place has been vulnerable very much with the theft of staff. Yeah, sometimes people come here, promise my workers, say, no, I'll pay you 10 pin, let's go. Then we just manage with people. It's just something that is sensitive. So people go, but they get stuck there because there's no 10 pin where they are taking them. So they come back. So normally what we do is we make sure we set the protocol, we set the standard operating procedure, such that even if staff A leaves today, the one who is coming in there will find everything is well designed. We'll just fit in there and go on. And maybe the challenges will just to know where to get this product, but everything is well described there and well written. So we have documented the whole journey up to a certain period of time. Then after that, we have to sit again to see how we can progress forward.
Interesting. So are you involved in any initiatives to promote sustainable aquaculture practices beyond your own farm?
Yeah, we work with a lot of other organizations. wild fish is one of them. We work together with them. So like yesterday, they were calling. We need to go to Luapula and Mansa to make sure to see how best we can bring on board the different communities there that have interest in aquaculture. Especially we are looking at cooperatives. So because we did in the northern province in Kasama, we had some cooperatives that we brought on board there. But there's one outstanding cooperative at Kasakarabwe. They still stand up to date. So they're saying we need to go in Kasama, in Mansa also. We bring out cooperatives and see which ones would be more outstanding. So we also, Ministry of Fisheries, we work hand in hand to make sure that we just impart these sustainability approaches to most of the farmers that are practicing aquaculture. We almost all the Musika, we are working with them also on a number of projects. GIZ, we work with them, and we also working with FAO to make sure we work on the communities in northwestern province, and also ActionAid, southern province, western, and Lusaka provinces. We've been working with them to make sure that the farmers there, they adopt some technologies that can work well, and they engage us to supply a number of products to make sure that the farmers can utilize some of the sustainable systems.
Interesting. So when it comes to overcoming challenges, can you share any significant challenges you've faced in your fish farming journey and how you've successfully overcome them?
Okay, one of the biggest challenges we've had here is the cost of operation. We've been using petrol, diesel to manage this place, and solar. Solar is not sustainable as they put it there when they're talking, say no, sustainable. Solar is sustainable for our home use, but even at home use level, you find that you can only watch TV maybe for an hour and it's gone. So we had serious expenses on the petrol diesel arrangement. But at least this time around, we've managed to work around with the ZESCO. We are now almost connected to the grid, so we can now at least use the main system of energy. And the other issue we've had is we've been wanting to do more in this industry, but access to finance is another issue. Yeah, when we apply maybe CEC or this and this, some of these funding arrangements that come on board, they are just like propaganda kind of arrangement, because they come on board with already predetermined beneficiaries, kind of. When you go there, they will tell you, no, you can't benefit, you are big. But how big are we? Is there anything like you are big to financing? Because this is the only industry we find in this community here. And a lot of other people around here, they benefit on this. A lot of institutions benefit. Colleges, they benefit on this. They bring their students for industrial attachment. They bring them here. But now, if this system does not grow further, we are limiting a lot of people that need to have access to this place. And we are limiting a lot of revenues for the country. So access to finance has been another issue here. And then the other issue that we've been working on with is the attitude of the staff sometimes, because mostly they are in a hurry to move whenever somebody comes to cheat them, because there's been a lot of theft of staff here, because people, they know Mukasa, and they know when they get a staff from here, they are safe. So they don't know one thing, that we have a system here. When someone who is seated at point A leaves there, he's not going to go with the system. The system remains here. So there's a bit of disturbances in that line, but we've managed to go around it. So this time around, we don't allow people to come. If you saw the vehicle came there, they just tell them to go back, because when they come, they allowed here to come. They start talking to our staff. I witnessed an event where a man came from Solwezi. He was calling all the time, calling. And I said, okay, you can come. Then he came with a bunch of business cards, giving my workers, say, no, if you need a job, you can contact me. So I just looked at him and said, okay, this guy, I don't know. So we don't allow. We have an office in town where if someone wants anything, we meet in town. If it's a customer, the customer, yes, is allowed to come to pick their products. That they are allowed, but they are not allowed to interact with our staff. We have specified the staff that interact with the customers, not our main staff. So there are those arrangements that we put in place to make sure that we create that barrier, because it used to affect us a lot. Yes, and sometimes there's a lot of issues of competition, but us we don't compete with anybody. This whatever we do here is in us, is in us. So it can only be gotten away from us once we stop existing. So that's one thing people don't know. Now, one thing that is critical here is that people always feel like Mukasa, 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 but they don't complain to say if they can utilize us to share what we are doing and we have been sharing a lot with the trainings we've had here. We have a lot of farmers across southern Africa who have trained from here. They are doing very well. So they don't want, but we fight each other too much. We have instances here where the people plant people. They buy stuff here to start damaging systems, because we are the competitor and they want us to have problems, so that we fail to supply that. But there are angels in every setup, so we find that this one quickly blows the whistle. This guy, what he's doing is this water. Due to climate change, there's a lot of evaporation that has occurred in the past few months. So this is a signal to us, as I mentioned to you, to say we have now looked at marketing the catfish massively, so that we can go too much into the catfish, which is environmental resilient, climate resilient, so to say, because it doesn't stress so much with the low water levels and the like. It is able to remain stable as compared to the tilapia. So we have expanded our investment in the catfish to make sure that we produce more, and then we take advantage of it. And mostly, you see, on the Zambian market, the market was almost non-existent, but we have grown it. There's huge demand of catfish now, and the people now, they eat even the fresh ones. They just boil and stuff, and then the smoked ones they can export, and it's now well established, So we are trying to focus on that one as one of the interventions to make sure we take advantage of that species to combat climate change issues.
So in the past 5 years, could you just highlight some of your biggest achievements that have been memorable?
Okay, one of the biggest, the first biggest achievement that we've done is to set up an established tilapia breeding system and the protocols. It is well established, and we produce massively. The second one is to set up the catfish breeding protocol and the unit, which is also established very well. The third one is to set up the cage operation, which is seated there and operating very well with a lot of fish in it. Then the fourth one is to set up a biosecurity and security system, which we've just done this year, and it's happening well. And the fifth one is to sort out the challenge of energy, which we have also almost completed with ZESCO. I think by end of this month, there will be ZESCO running this facility. So those, we can consider them to be huge milestones.
Interesting. So what would be your last remarks as we come to the end of this interview?
You see, my last remarks would be to just encourage most farmers out there. Most people rush. There are a lot of people that see a lot of discussions on aquaculture, and the trend that is there. Most people say there's too much money in aquaculture, but there's money when you understand it. So people normally, the other day I was at a discussion with some colleagues to say, you see, when you go through the education centers, you find that there's plenty of students that are rewriting science, and very few rewriting RE. You see, a civic education, very few, maybe 1 or 0, but science every year is the highest number in schools. Why? Science, it does not compromise. It always sticks to its protocols. If you compromise with the scientific protocols, you cannot do it. So aquaculture is a science. So if people want to succeed in aquaculture, they should follow the protocol that has been laid down. They are always tested protocols that are there, and they can guide everybody. But most people around there, because the internet is there, and once information that is on the internet is free, you will not find me putting everything on the internet there. No, I'm not going to be paid, you see. So most of the information is kept a secret. So most farmers, what they have to do mostly, if you want to get into aquaculture, they need to prepare themselves. Don't rush. They have to take their time, and then they gather more information, and they also try to experiment to get to know whether what they have been told is true or can work, is workable in their situation on a smaller scale. But most people sometimes they go with 20 ponds because they were told that the drinking place, they say fish farming is the business which is booming now. 20 ponds, and then 20 ponds, the workers are even excited. They steal a lot. So they have to prepare properly biosecurity, management system, and everything else. The finances, they do all very good preparation there. Then they'll be able to move with less challenges. At the end of the day, we need always to make sure that we have the training that we need to handle this kind of business, because it requires just somebody to be in the know-how to manage it. Okay, so the production wise, as of this year, we have set at 10 tons per year, and this year we are trying to upgrade. Yes, because our focus mostly was on the production. We needed first to set up the breeding system. So our breeding system, we have an average 500,000 every month. So we are talking of about 3 million every month. I mean every year. Production of tilapia fingerlings, average 3 million. Then we are talking of somewhere 1 million catfish every year. Then this side of the table size we are looking at, we have set targets at 20 tons. Yeah, 20 tons, yes, per year.